Officially welcome to the Season 2 simulation of the Montreal Canadiens GM mode. I have in front of you the lineup for the Montreal Canadiens following preseason going into Game 1 of the regular season. And I have read comments. I have also evaluated a few things myself. This is the way that I feel the lineup should be going into the second season. We have multiple things we should ponder. What kind of team have we assembled here? Is this a team that can be a contender? In other words, can this team make the playoffs, go on another run, defend our Stanley Cup? That's obviously going to be my goal and my objective in the outset. However, I have been suggested via a comment about potentially becoming a seller, selling off a few pieces, maybe a few veteran players on this team. You could look at moving on from Plekanec. Now, here's the reasoning behind selling off a couple of veteran players. So the veteran players you would look to sell off here, and it was suggested to me, maybe we move on from Plekanec. He's not that old yet. He's 31. He's very much more than capable. But knowing what's coming up at the center position beneath Plekanec, there's probably not going to be a lot of room left for Thomas Plekanec, and he's been a long-time Hab. He has been a valuable member of this Montreal Canadiens team. But there's just not going to be any room for some of these centers. LeBlanc, this is my point. This is where my point really comes through. Louis LeBlanc, we've got a really tough decision to make at center. We really will. Because Louis LeBlanc has grown to an 83 in the offseason. As a 23-year-old forward, gold star potential, I don't know that I really saw this coming for season number 2, to be honest with you. He did play last year. He played in, 14-15. That's preseason. Forget about that. He played in 24 games last year. In season 1, the 2013-2014 season, he had 3 points. Now, he was basically a fill-in on the bottom 6, so basically playing fourth-line minutes last year when we ran into injuries. He didn't see any playoff time, but he is ready. And he may not even be done growing. For all we know, he could get to a high 80s, maybe an 86, 87 overall player. Now, overall rating, in my mind, is not the end-all, be-all of things, but this guy's, look at the categories. We got some categories are almost 5-star categories. His defense category, exceptional. The one thing concerning to me, 61 rating for face-offs. So that's concerning to me, but everywhere else looks golden. So this could be maybe either LeBlanc is your second-line center of the future, because that's where he's trending toward, or he's trade bait. So I could see I could definitely see a good trade. Maybe we use him to get a defenseman, bolster the defense. We're going to be fine in the net. So everywhere else we have to build around. We have to build on the wings, and we have to build at defense. But as far as I can tell, we got a good team on the wings. How old is Lars Eller? As I begin this episode on a long rant, 25 years old, completely fine there. 85 overall. Been very familiar with Lars Eller from the Flames GM mode as well. And he was a very serviceable player. Desharnais is another piece that we could sell off as well, by the way. 28 years old. The attributes categories are there. You can see 4-star shooting category, 4-star skating, 4-star senses, defense category, 4.5-star puck skills. Not much going on in the physical category. So maybe the Canadiens, do we need to get a little meaner? He played 82 games last year, 13 goals, 27 points. I would need more. I don't know. I mean, you got a guy playing on the bottom 6, but I still think even for a bottom 6 player, you need a little bit more offensively speaking, even from a bottom 6, especially as a playmaker. But that does leave us with some interesting questions going forward, with the reason being with Su Kai Ming, who's, by the way, went back to junior, so he's not NHL ready yet. He should be next year. He went back to junior, is not going to be in the roster for this year. That's fine with me. I'd rather he grow the proper way. Speaking of growing people the proper way, we got Nathan Beaulieu. This is the big piece for me on the back end. Initially, I was going to have Beaulieu play in the AHL, but seeing as he bumped up to a 79 overall in the offseason, he's going to be absolutely perfect on that third pair playing alongside of England. And with a 4 gold star potential for Beaulieu, as well as being 21 years of age, he should see a huge amount of growth this season. Could be the perfect time to place him down there on that third pairing and get him some NHL minutes, especially playing alongside a veteran. Now, last season, he played in the AHL. This is his offensive numbers. Again, being that he's a defenseman, offensive numbers are not everything to pay attention to, so I wouldn't take too much stock into what he's doing offensively out there. As long as we're not giving up too many goals when he's on the ice or when that pairing is on the ice, it's all good with me. The idea that was tossed to me via the comment is I didn't mean to do that, is to potentially trade Josh Georges. He's 30 years old, and he's a left-handed shot, so that gives me a nice left-handed shot defenseman. That was the point that was emphasized in the comment. Not a lot of left shot defensemen. Well, we do have Yemlin, and Yemlin was another player that we were... Well, let me see this. What is Yemlin's discipline? Yeah, his discipline's really low, and I wanted to see... I keep backing out of that for some reason, and I don't mean to. I wanted to see how many penalties and minutes he took. Yeah, he took 123 penalties in minutes last season, and he didn't have any goals. So Yemlin could be a bit of a small liability on the back end. The reason I brought Jordan Leopold back, the 34-year-old defenseman, well, he is a veteran for us, and he didn't get to play in the Stanley Cup final because he was injured, so I felt bad about that. I want to bring him back. I wanted to bring him back. I think it's 1 year. I gave him a 1-year deal, very reasonable, for 1 season. Get the veteran in the lineup. He can play anywhere near the middle 6 or the bottom 6. If Beaulieu grows this season and has a good year, I might bump him up to the middle pairing there. Maybe next to Yemlin or maybe next to Leopold. Just depends on how things go. But obviously, PK Subban, so this was the big one from the off-season portion of the video. We signed him to an 8-year contract at $6.525. So we gave PK Subban the long-term deal. We are committed to keeping our Conn Smythe winner around. And I want to show the stats as well for PK. 82 games played last year. 7 goals, 37 points. +1 in the plus-minus. Took quite a few penalties and minutes, but that's going to happen playing top pairing minutes. And in the playoffs, 22 games played as a Conn Smythe winner one more time. 8 goals, 16 assists, 24 points, 15 +15 in the plus-minus. Took 33 minutes and penalties, 2 power play goals. There's all the stats for PK Subban as we go into season number 2. He wasn't the only player on this Canadiens roster getting a massive contract extension. 8 years also goes to the man we traded for in the offseason before starting season 1. Matt Duchene locked in 8 years, $6.7 million deal. He paid off in spades in the playoffs. He played 80 games for the team in the regular season. There's the stats in front of you from his regular season in season 1. And these are those playoff stats from season 1. 22 games played, much like Subban, 13 goals. I think the 13 goals led the team in the playoffs. I probably should have pulled up the playoff stats when I could, but it doesn't matter now. 22 points, +17 plus-minus. It was just a phenomenal addition to this team to give us a true first-line center. And there you go. There's Sukai Ming, the guy that I was talking about, 18 years of age, 68 overall, back in junior. You can see it beside his name. 4.5 gold star potential, almost a 5-star potential. Already gave him the ELC. So the entry-level contract, because he went back to junior, that should slide, which is what happens. So if the player goes back to junior and he doesn't play, I think it's 9 games or more in the NHL, which is what you can do in the real world. You can have a player play, I think it's about 9 games. I can't remember the exact games, but it's close to 9 games played, and you can send them back to junior, and the contract will slide to the next season. In other words, this entry-level value, that $0.825 million for the 14-15 season would not count, and so you would get an extra year of that entry-level deal. So this deal should slide for Sukai Ming because he's not going to play any NHL games for the Montreal Canadiens this season. But I wanted to bring him up because this is going to cause... Sukai Ming is going to cause some problems in a good way in the future, in that this is probably our second or first line center of the future. I mean, he'll be playing underneath Duchesne, I would imagine. He may well get better than Matt Duchesne will, but we've got good problems going on at center. At worst, you end up trading a player like LeBlanc. I think LeBlanc in the future could become some trade bait to help increase the roster, but it just depends on where Sukai Ming gets to and when he gets there. So basically, we got to sim through Season 2 to see what Sukai Ming becomes. And my plan going into this season is to full-on contend for the Stanley Cup. I'm not interested in selling off yet. And now, if we get to December or the January portion of the schedule and this team is not on pace to be a playoff team, absolutely. We start moving Desharnais. We might move Plekanec. I think we maybe even move Georges. We'll start having those conversations when we get close to the halfway point through the season. But I want to see how this team simulates through October and November to begin with. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. He is ready. Arneson is going to be ready. He's in the NHL already with Vancouver. Look out for Vancouver. My God. They have Axel Arneson wearing number 6, the 6'8", 214 beast on the blue line. I'm glad he's out west. Oh my God. This is going to be crazy. Ignore that. That's a preseason game. No, wait a minute. Yeah, that's a preseason game. He played one preseason game, but they're keeping him up so far in the NHL. Yes, we got to name a captain. Jersey numbers and naming a captain. You know what? I'm not comfortable with naming a captain yet. I know that it gave it to Plekanec, but Plekanec may not be here long term. And I think we just have 3 A's for this season. That may not be a popular opinion, but I think we just run with 3 A's for the upcoming year. And the 3 A's, I was going to go Plekanec, Duchesne, Pacioretty. Is that acceptable? I think we go 3 alternates for Season 2. Because the future of Plekanec is uncertain for me. And I don't want to go ahead and name a captain yet. So I think we just wait on that captaincy. I mean, you can argue, just go ahead and give it to Duchesne or Subban. You lock those guys up long term. But I'm uncertain, and I'll leave people in the comments section to leave their opinion as well as to who you think the future captain of this Canadiens team should be. My personal opinion, I throw Duchesne's name into that hat. I think it should be Duchesne, but I'm open to other opinions as well. Trying to look at jersey numbers, I may just cut all the rest of this out. Brendan Gallagher, no. That's Gallagher's. That number's Gallagher's. Elliott, you can wear... Doesn't Elliott wear number 1? So Elliott would have to wear... number 1 is a retired number, so you can't wear that. So you're going to have to wear... Elliott, you're going to have to wear like 35. No, we'll give you 35. Justin Jeffrey, LaRose, LeBlanc, Leopold, Mo, and Pacioretty. Everyone is good, I think, jersey number-wise. There's the cap information. I should probably be showing this every year so we can track how much the cap goes up. I hope the cap keeps going up because that will give us flexibility, especially with signing the long-term contracts to Subban and Duchesne. I need the cap to go up over the seasons. Oh, opening night at home against the Maple Leafs. As the defending Stanley Cup champions, it really, truly doesn't get any better than this. Oh, here we go. The banner raising. How about that? Number 25 raised to the rafters. Oh, it's beautiful. Obviously, I had to back out after we did the banner raising, but being able to raise that beautiful banner at Le Centre Bell with all of the Maple Leafs in town and shutting them out as well, even sweeter, with a 4-0 victory on home ice to begin Season 2. The defense of our Stanley Cup begins now. So Season 2 is officially in effect. We get to also travel right to Toronto. We get to travel right over there and have a quick rematch on their ice. So we got a few changes to our roster. LeBlanc is in there full-time now. He is a full-time NHL player. Nathan Beaulieu is a full-time NHL player. We're getting a few injuries, but they're very minor because I have thankfully upgraded that medical staff. Why wasn't LeBlanc playing in the game? Hold on. LeBlanc in here? Yeah, they put Moen in instead. Moen is my healthy extra in case injuries happen. So I don't think I've mentioned that yet in this video. But yeah, we'll put LeBlanc back in there. He should be playing third line minutes. And did anyone else get injured? I thought we had an injury on the blue line. No, we're good. Or for right now, we're good, I think. So yes, before that injury threw everything off. And yeah, it should be a good year for rookies. As soon as I get a chance, I'll take a look at that scouting report and see if any of my created players are in there, because when I looked earlier, it's not in this video, but when I looked earlier, some of my created players were not in there. So I don't know entirely what's going on. You see, we're getting some injuries, and there's no time frame listed for the return of Rene Bourque and Dustin Jeffrey. Now I have to take a look at this because I'm wondering if it put other players in the lineup for those injuries. And so far, I think it has. We have Houdon got called up. What a great decision to call a 61 overall player up. And of course, Moen gets in there, the grinder. So we may have to play with those players substituted for a bit until I know how long Rene Bourque and Dustin Jeffrey are out for. Let me sim up to the Pittsburgh game and see if we get an injury report. And there you go. Jeffrey's back. Rene Bourque, unfortunately, gone for 3 weeks, but that's fine. I can live with Moen playing there on the third line. Insert Dustin Jeffrey. So when the world hands you a Jeffrey, rub the furry wall. If you don't know the reference, I can't help you out there. But it's stupid anyway. I gotta find that guy, Houdon. I gotta scratch him. And I'm gonna send him down. I'm gonna go ahead and send him down. I gotta do a roster move. Oh man, with the upgrade to the med staff, I really thought I was done dealing with any kind of injuries of any kind, especially the long-term ones. The big one is losing Rene Bourque for 3 weeks. How the team is going to fare without Rene Bourque. We didn't fare too poorly there. We won 3-0. Gotta keep the injuries at a minimum. Keep these guys healthy. I don't have the greatest depth this year. This team has good depth in terms of the actual starting lineup from the first line to the fourth line. But if there's an injury, I don't have a lot that I can rely on from the AHL this season. Number one, I don't know how much cap space I have, but I think it's barely more than $1 million in cap space to play with. I could go sign a depth player in free agency that I could just stick down in the AHL or healthy scratch him. And then in case we do deal with injuries, I could just put that player in the lineup. But I like having flexibility with money, and there's a scouting assignment thing. Okay, now that the scouting report came up, and I'm telling you, I'm not seeing any of my created players on the scouting report. That's very concerning to me, because I made 3 goaltenders total for the GM mode for the season 2 draft, which we just did in the previous videos, and the season 3 draft, which is this upcoming off season after this. And I didn't see any of my goaltenders in there. Now Gallagher got hurt. This is a bundle of problems we're having right now. So they just called up the 61 overall player again. Wait a minute. Man, this roster is all over the place. We got LeBlanc got moved and shifted around. Desharnais, you go play the wing. LeBlanc, you're playing the third line with Jeffrey. Blunden is in here. That's who got in here. So the AI actually made a good call up by calling on Blunden from the AHL. It's all wings getting injured right now. I gotta just deal with it. I just gotta sim past this. But it's not a good start to the season for us. 5-3-1 as October comes to a close. Still waiting on an update on Brendan Gallagher. Waiting on Rene Bourque to get fully healthy again, which was a big loss. It's not like, we lost an important player in Rene Bourque for 3 weeks. I don't know how many total games that is, but that's a significant player to be missing out of your top 6 for this Canadiens team. Nick Delorier he's very young though, isn't he? He's 76 overall. Yeah, he's 23 years of age, 76 overall. Now that could be an okay call-up if you had an injury. I'm going to pass on this though. If it was a wing though, I'd be very interested in claiming that player off waivers, but it is not. It's a defenseman. We're playing Florida, back-to-back games against Florida here with some time off between those games. Needed to get a win, and there's a player, Landon Ferraro. I'm really thinking of claiming this player because, if anything, I mean, he can just be a player that you call up from the minors. I do need a player that I could call up from the minors, and I'm going to take that. I am. So there you go. They send Landon Ferraro down, and Gallagher is 6 weeks. That's brutal. Okay, after we send past Florida, I think I'm going to have to call Ferraro up, and he's going to have to just play in my bottom 6 for a while. Because, there you go. Rene Bourque is back. At least Bourque's back, but Gallagher 6 weeks is a tough injury. Now I got a chance to actually look at this and see what I'm dealing with. Because I'd rather have Ferraro than Blunden, and that's just based on overall rating. And the fact that Blunden is also just a freaking grinder. I might as well just send him back down to the A. So I'm going to do a roster move. Blunden, you go down. Yep, he's going to have to go through waivers, but I highly doubt he gets claimed. Ferraro, you're going to get called up. Ooh, I'm not within the salary cap. See, that's why I needed to leave that cap space. Gosh dang it. Man, this roster is so all over the freaking place. And I can't call up Ferraro because I don't have the cap space available. That's why I told you I can't go signing players out of free agency. I just don't have the cap space available, especially with these injuries. Then again, you know, you've got Moen. I don't know what he's making against the cap, 1.8. I mean, you've got guys like Moen in here just because there's injuries. That's the reason that they're up in the lineup in the first place. This forward core is all over the place. I'm gonna need to tweak the power play, certainly. LeBlanc, Eller, it's actually not bad. I'm gonna put LeBlanc at center though on the power play. I don't mind that. I wanted Beaulieu. Beaulieu's on the power play. He's on the first unit power play, which is kind of crazy. Do we just kind of roll with his power play as is? Oh wait, we gotta get Rene Bourque in there. Bourque got injured, but he's healthy now, so we got to get Bourque in there on the power play. And now Mike Komisarek gets sent down on waivers. I don't need that right now. I'm tight on cap spaces as it is. I meant to go GM tracker. I want to show this just so it's in here. Look at this. I upgraded the med staff and spent all those points to get to a level 4 trainer, and we're still having all these injuries. Just goes to show that you have to probably truly max out the medical staff. I did something similar in the Calgary Flames GM mode, and we stopped having injuries altogether. I didn't even max it out. I think I hit level 5 on the medical staff, and we stopped having injuries altogether as an organization. Now, I guarantee you someone got injured in one of these 2 games that we just played here. We won both of those games. Hold on. Scouting assignment. Yeah, Lars Eller got hurt now. Great! Just what I needed. So who get Blunden? Welcome back to the NHL, Blunden. I guess that contract is pretty easy to bring up. But yeah, he's making minor league money. What is Ferraro making? I didn't even see what Ferraro's making, man. What the hell is this? I don't have... I am... Oh my god. I am pretty much operating with literally no cap space because of these freaking injuries. Screw you, game. Oh, this game's pissing me off so much. So this is the lineup that I'm forced to run with. I'm forced to do this because of all my injuries. First of all, get LeBlanc at center. We're playing him at center this year. That is the guaranteed plan of this team, and I gotta run with it. This is pissing me off. These injuries are honestly just starting to freaking piss me off. I'm operating with point, emphasis on the point, 011 in cap space. Yes, that is the literal number of cap space that I have to play with right now because of the injuries and the fact that my team has been forced to call up other players to fill out our roster. I thought I was done with all these injuries since I upgraded the medical staff. Oh, things like this piss me off. I upgrade the medical staff, and all that I get is injury after injury after injury to this team. Luckily, I mean, for us, it's worked out fine for now. With an 11-4-1 record, still 5 weeks to go before Brendan Gallagher is back. Lars Eller is still gone for 5 more days. The plan right now, tread water through November. Just get through the month of November. And if we can minimize the losses, we got another win over Phoenix, and Lars Eller is good to go. Oh, this is so much freaking editing. This pisses me off so much. Oh, not Josh Georges, you stupid nutsack. All right, now I got to send down Blunden so I have the cap space. He's not going to get claimed. Blunden, you're getting sent right back down to the minors. You're not getting claimed, so go back down to the minors. Okay, so now editing really begins. Eller, you got to be in the top 6. Man, if the injuries are going to be like this, I don't know if I can record this entire season in one sitting. I think I'm going to have to split the season up into 2 different recordings. This is just ridiculous. I've done so much more micro editing of the lineup than I would have ever thought or preferred to do for this episode. It's ridiculous. But at least Eller's back from his injury. Gallagher is 4 weeks out for right now. We are still winning some games. I know we lost. We got shut out by the Blackhawks, but we're 13-5-1 right now, which is very acceptable for a performing team with all these injuries that we've been dealing with. I was honestly expecting a lot worse out of this crew. And I can't forget, by the way, at the end of the season specifically to, well, hold on, scouting assignment. Okay, now that I got the, and now there's another waiver claim. I'm not going to claim that player. Now that I'm done with the scouting assignment, I need to remember at the end of the season specifically to check in on Johnny Gaudreau and see how well that Johnny Gaudreau's season went his sophomore year. Rene Bourque is available. I didn't even know that he got injured. Oh, that's great. See, now it's going to move LeBlanc to the wing, which is not what I want to do. Oh, finally, we had the cap space to call up Landon Ferraro, who I wanted to be my depth option anyway. He's making $0.910 million. But, you know, I was operating so tight against the cap, I didn't have a choice. That was a good call up by the game. But now, Ferraro, you're just going to be... I didn't pay attention to how old he is. But Ferraro is going to be... Does it have his age up here? I just had him pulled up, and I don't know how old he is. But anyway, I'm going to basically healthy scratch him. And he can sit in the press box until the next injury happens, which is probably going to be after the next game. I'm not worried about Landon Ferraro's development. He's simply here as a depth option, but the injuries are so stupid for some reason here in Season 2. Clearly, I didn't upgrade the med staff enough, even though I thought I did. And I got to pay attention to these losses. We've racked a couple up in our last few games. Important to beat the Leafs. I think we have won every matchup we've had against Toronto this season. So this would be game number 3 of 4 against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And we lost that one 3-2, as well as Jordan Leopold getting injured. So there's our first injury on the blue line. But I guarantee you, he's probably back in the lineup after we play the Boston Bruins. It's a 3-day injury. It shouldn't be that long. Well, he will not be playing against Boston, but is he back in time for Nashville? For the home game against Nashville? No, but I'm going to simulate one more game. Whoever's in there at D is doing a wondrous job. Well, no, they're not. We got shut out 4-0. And LeBlanc just got injured as well. Oh, you know what? I bet you it didn't even take Leopold out. I bet he was playing through a playable injury. Yeah, he played through a playable injury. So what a trooper there. But who got injured now? I just saw it and it was LeBlanc, wasn't it? Yeah, Ferraro gets in there. Well, you're not playing third line center minutes. I'll put Landon Ferraro as fourth line center, but that's why he was a waiver claim. Please don't let LeBlanc be a long-term injury. I just can't do this. I can't do a whole Season 2 simulation of this nonsense. LeBlanc is a 4-week injury, but fortunately, in the span of the next week, we will be getting back Brendan Gallagher, but this is so ridiculous. I wanted this season simulation to just be on autopilot, and it's been anything but. Well, and we lose to the Oilers 6 days. The good news is there's hardly any games in this next 6-day stretch anyway, so Brendan Gallagher should barely miss another game before he might even be back in time to play against Ottawa. And there you go, back in time to play against Ottawa. So I have interesting decisions to make because of the fact that Gallagher is a wing. I need Ferraro in there to replace the injury to LeBlanc. Moen is going to get scratched. And Gallagher move up to the second line. We'll keep Prust on the fourth line. It's just a simple adjustment like that. And we pick up the first game with Brendan Gallagher back in the lineup in multiple weeks. Is a 7-2 nothing. We dropped a big, or 7-2 loss, 7-2 nothing, 7-2 loss. My brain is already scrambled eggs. That's what the simulation has done to me so far. Yeah, I'm gonna have to split this video. I'm gonna have to combine this video into 2 parts by doing 2 different recordings. I can't sit here and edit the roster and the lineup in one go. I just can't do this all in one go. When there's a win, we needed it, and unfortunately, PK Subban has gone down with an injury. So this one, hopefully it's a very short day-to-day injury. We need the med staff to come through big time on the Subban injury. We're playing some important games right now. Oh my god, of course it's a 3-month injury, of course! And there is no LTIR. We got Moen playing D. Oh god. I gotta send Moen down, and I gotta call up a defenseman. So Moen might get claimed, but I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta call up a defenseman. You know what? I need a oh, well, we got Koska. That's right. We got Koska, and we got Strawman as my depth options. You can see the salary cap space I have to work with. This is why I don't have a choice. I have gotta send Moen down. I gotta find him, and we're gonna send him down. If he gets claimed, he gets claimed. Whatever. Now I'm really in a rock and a hard place because I can't call up Koska because I don't have cap space. See that there? But I can't call Moen down, or call Moen down. I can't send Moen down because it will put me below the minimum pro roster. Oh my god, this game is such a dick. There's no LTIR in the game. LeBlanc is 2 weeks out. I have to have Moen has to. I have to go. Moen has to play D. This is great. Hold on. I have to edit the lines. I have to make sure that I have to minimize Moen's. You know what we're gonna do? You know what? Screw playing Moen. Moen should be healthy scratch. I gotta play in here. Here's how we work around this. Moen, you're gonna get healthy scratch, and someone on D is gonna get double shifted in PK Subban's place. Is this time to just try? Okay, so in the interim, PK Subban is gone for 3 months. I'm gonna lose my sanity doing this season simulation, but in the interim, Moen, our winger, he is dressed, but he is not in the lineup in any shape or form. And we are double shifting Yemlin because I can't call a player up from the A because I don't have cap space at the moment. There is no LTIR in this game. I can't put Subban on long-term injured reserve to save cap space. And I can't send a player down because I would be below the roster limit. I would actually be below the roster limit. So we're kind of screwed. We're just going to double shift Yemelin on D until a solution figures itself out. Yemelin's going to get injured. He's going to be the next player to get hurt playing extra minutes. He's playing so many minutes because he's on the power play. He's on the PK. He's playing the first and second pairing. I probably should have put Beaulieu there because he'd be getting pretty low minutes on the third pair to begin with, and then just maybe it's time to figure out if Beaulieu is the future defenseman for this team, and we're losing games now. We really are. We're in a tough spot. Might be time to sell. I'm nervous. I'm not seeing any of my players. Oh, there you go. Oh, no, they're in here. Now they're in here. There you go. Connor McDavid has been uncovered. Yeah, maybe we just tank for McDavid. Tori Reinprecht, there he is. Reinprecht is in there. My created player. So now we're starting to see some created players filter through here. They were not showing up for some reason before. Did I just see a name Beaverson? What a last Beaverson. What a last name Beaverson. I need to know. Wait a minute. Don't tell me this is Samuel Bennett. Wasn't Sam Bennett? Am I getting this mixed up? Wasn't Sam Bennett drafted, or was it a different player? It was Sam Reinhart. It was Sam Reinhart, not Sam Bennett. So Sam Bennett is available to be drafted. I gotta sort this again. Every time I back out, I have to resort this. Dude, I'm telling you, my brain freaking hurts right now trying to do this episode. This episode has driven me absolutely nuts. But yeah, I'm not seeing any other players I created. Let me go to goaltenders. Okay, carry on. I mean, did we tank for McDavid? We could definitely do the tank for McDavid approach. We're at Christmas, basically. And LeBlanc is almost back healthy. Subban's gone for 3 months. The team is staying above water for right now. We're going to just go one game at a time right now. I want to go past Ottawa. Of course, we're going to be playing Tampa, so I can't tell if there's an injury because we'll have the Tampa Bay Lightning roster on the right side of the screen as soon as we get past this game against the Senators. But we're past Christmas now. We did win, and LeBlanc's available, so that's a good thing. That means Ferraro gets scratched. I gotta find Ferraro. He's all the way at the bottom. Scratch Ferraro. Find LeBlanc. Boop. There you go. LeBlanc is in there. And he's gonna play on the third line, where I want him to be. Okay, that's all good and well. Still gotta roll with that deep here. It's ridiculous. Now I could try to send down Ferraro to call up a defenseman. I'm gonna risk losing Ferraro to a waiver claim, but I need to free up the space. Well, first of all, Ferraro is not gonna save me a lot of money because he's making under $1 million. And how much is my defense call-up would be like Koska. And okay, you know what? We could probably make that work, actually. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try to send down Ferraro. I got to find Ferraro in this list. Where is he? So there's Ferraro. I'm going to send him down. He's going to have to go through waivers. I think he'll pass it. I think Ferraro went through waivers clean. He did. So he went through waivers clean. We can call up Koska. Nice. Okay, now I can put Koska on D. Oh, trying to navigate this whole nonsense. All right, so Koska's basically, I'm going to move Beaulieu up. Koska's going to get in there where, hold on, let me find Koska. I got to dress him. He's going to get in there where Beaulieu was on the third pair. Beaulieu, welcome. You've been promoted to the, hold on. Why do I have 19 dress skaters? Beaulieu, you've been promoted to the second pairing. So who's dressed that shouldn't be? Is it Moen? Should I just scratch Moen and then we're good? There we go. Scratch Moen and we're good. Okay. I have Koska on defense as we enter the end of December. There's like no games for a stretch here at the end of December before New Year's. So last game before New Year's, and we lose to the Tampa Bay Lightning with Rene Bourque once again getting injured. Just another day that ends in Y for this team. Man, we are hanging on by a thread, this Canadiens team. 20-12-3 isn't terrible, but all it takes is we have one quick losing streak, 4 games, 5-game losing streak, and it's almost right back to 500 hockey. Just like that. That's how quickly things can change. But again, we have a back-to-back with Ottawa and Tampa. Please come away injury-free. Get me some victories. We didn't. We lost to Tampa Bay. We did beat Ottawa. Rene Bourque will be back in a matter of days. I assume he'll be back in time for the game against the Toronto Maple Leafs. So whoever got inserted into the lineup there, it was probably Moen. He's just going to come right out. Yep, there it is. Got to edit lines manually. That's a simple change. I just scratched Moen out of the lineup. That's why he's still up here. Can serve as a more than serviceable healthy extra, but now we need to get Rene Bourque back in there. This is making my brain so tired, having to edit all this. Oh, then I, of course, edited best lines. Jeez. Frickin' EA, man. EA! Oh my god, this game is so pissing me off. Okay, it's gonna take everything. You know what? That's actually not bad. This is actually not bad. I like this lineup as it is. Best lines all the way. How about that? Oh, continuing this. I'm gonna continue this about halfway through January, and goodness gracious, scared the absolute shit out of me. I got an Amber Alert on my phone. It scared the bejesus out of me in the middle of that commentary. But we won 3-2. Oh. And we won again. So we're getting some wins here. Now England goes down for 7 weeks. I just can't get a break. I got to upgrade the med. The med staff has got to be upgraded one more time. Desharnais playing the blue line? Hell no. So we got 2 defensemen down. Someone has got to get double shifted. I think I got to go. Oh, I'm going to give Leopold the second and third pair. How about that? I think that's just what we do. So Leopold, you're gonna get second and third pairing minutes here. I'm just gonna cut the recording here because I don't know that I genuinely can take any more. Oh, this game is so all over the place with the injuries and the big ones hitting my defenseman like this too. 2-month injury to PK Subban. 7 weeks. England is gone. If we can claim a player, if I can claim a defenseman off waivers, we have to do it. But that already, I mean, the fact that we don't get to have LTR. Oh, I'm sitting here waiting. I was thinking it was simulating. I'm sitting here waiting for it to simulate, and it's not doing anything. But because there's no LTIR, then I have to, I can't, my hands are tied. I can't call people up or send people down and all that. I don't care about trade offers. This team, to me, is not worth selling. I don't see this team as a seller. I mean, we're 24-13-3. I said I wanted to sim to the midway point in January and just cut it here and take a break. Because my brain is melted mush at this moment. With all the injuries and everything, it couldn't just be a smooth sailing recording session, injury-wise anyway. And the other thing is, like I said, it pisses me off that there's no way to move contracts to LTIR, so you can actually have cap space to call players up. So I can't even have a player called up on reserve. All right, we'll sim 2 more games. I tell you, I'm so tired. My brain isn't functioning right now with this. It's crazy how quickly you can get tired doing a GM mode. Well, first of all, the simulation for this is terribly slow. The game is so slow, it's not even funny. I think I forgot to sim past San Jose. I think I simmed to the game. I didn't sim past it. So we'll stop it at the game past San Jose. The Stanley Cup Final rematch, isn't that right? Stanley Cup Final rematch versus the Sharks, and we lose 7-5. Is this team, this is the point where we take a break and we look at it, is this team a lost cause? Because, I mean, if we're going to end up missing the playoffs and I didn't sell, I'm going to feel really bad. I'm going to feel really, really dumb. There's such a huge chunk of season left. 9 weeks until Subban is back. It is 6 weeks until England. So let's see how far into the future that is. So 9 weeks, that would be... We'll just go from the 16th down. So, well, we'll go from the 18th down. We'll start at the 18th. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a lot of games without PK Subban. So that's the Boston game. That week of the Boston game here, the week of March the 8th, that's when PK Subban is expected to return, and that is post-trade deadline, because the deadline is right there against Vancouver with Arneson and the Canucks on the 4th of March. So 6 weeks without whoever else was injured. My defenseman, I forgot who it was. I'm sorry, I forgot who it was, because PK Subban takes precedent over everybody else. So 6 weeks, that'll be 1, 2 with the 25th, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he would miss a chunk. We'd be missing a chunk of games without that. And who's to say that there aren't other injuries that are going to hit us in the meantime? Can't tell if I want to upload this as just its own standalone episode, take a break, upload the video, let people chime in what we should do, because I think that's what I'm going to do, because I can't decide if I should sell. We're 25, 15, and 3. You know, something I haven't done in this video is... It's not in here. What am I doing? It's under stats. Why would I don't know. I told you, I'm losing my mind doing this video. I was going to look at the stats compared to let's just compare it to the East. Yeah, Eastern Conference. How are we doing on points? We're the second best team in the East. Oh my, I would have never guessed. Second best team in the East. We have a 61.6% points percentage. Goal scoring wise, we're just kind of middle of the pack in the Eastern Conference, so we're okay. Scoring at 2.60 goals for per game, not GAA. Goals for per game, while the Islanders are almost scoring 3 goals per game. So that could get a little bit better for us, but with all the injuries, can you really blame this team for being middle of the pack? I mean, middle of the pack is an improvement from where I thought we would be. Goals against per game, Carey Price is what's keeping this team above water. I mean, Carey Price is doing it. He's doing his job in the net. We're not giving up a ton of goals. Yeah, we're 6th in goals against, and I think we're 6th in goals against per game. So the average is also 6th in the East, not in the league. Power play goals, it's more the power play percentage. So the power play is okay. It's pretty good. Almost 18%. That's a pretty good clip right now for the Canadiens in the Eastern Conference. What about the PK? So the PK is not very good. I would say it's not dreadful, but it's obviously not very good. It needs to be better than that. It doesn't need to be 88% good, but it needs to be like 84%. Which actually would be third best in the East if we were 84% on the PK. So, I mean, this team is sitting really pretty. Like I said, if we sort this again by points, we're sitting there second in the Eastern Conference. That would be first in the division. Here's the division. Atlantic Division. We lead the division by 3 points over Tampa Bay. This division is weak, man. Buffalo's sitting there, 48 points, then Ottawa, but it tails off. Toronto, 44 points. Toronto is almost a full 10 points below us. Florida, Detroit, Boston. This is a year to go for it again. I don't think we sell. I don't think it's time to sell yet. I understand the reasoning behind selling, but this team is right there. We're right there. I know we're dealing with the loss of Subban and whoever else got injured because I can't remember your name. But we got Carey Price in the net. He's a beast. He's more than enough for this team. Can we get into the playoffs? I think we just carry it past the trade deadline. Wait for Subban and Derek England. That's who got injured. Wait for those guys to get back healthy and see if just the guys that are in there, the replacements, if they can just hold us steady until about March. I mean, we're midway through January. They just got to hold us station through the mid part of March.